We are here for the summer 2023 public teleconference, January 27th. And the time is probably a little after 10 o'clock right now. Apologize for our technical difficulties. Like I said, it's new for us. So we are going to do the best we can here. I want to thank everybody for joining, and I'm going to go through roll call here. But first, let me read this civil rights statement, and then we'll do roll call, and we'll identify everybody here. The State of Alaska Department of Transportation and Public Facilities complies with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. It is the policy of the Department of Transportation and Public Facilities that no person shall be excluded from participation in or be denied benefits of any and all programs or activities we provide based on race, religion, color, gender, age, marital status, ability, or national origin, regardless of the funding source, including Federal Transit Administration, Federal Aviation Administration, Federal Highway Administration, and State of Alaska funds. So in the room here, my name is Captain Carvelis. I'm the acting general manager. And with me, I have here Kerry Trout, who is the vessel scheduler, and Vendela Cadiente, the administrative help. So we're here. I would like to start with roll call going from south to north. So as before that we've done in these meetings, we'll start in Bellingham in the lower 48. Is anybody joining us from that area? And moving on to Prince Rupert.
Yes, I'm here. Christine Booth. I show as Vi Moran, but that's my mom.
Okay, welcome, Christine.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm a
Metlakatla.
resident of Ketchikan, just for your information.
Oh, you're a resident of Ketchikan?
Yeah. But I'm down here because I'm caring for my mother, my
Oh,
elderly mother, so
well, that's really nice. Welcome.
thanks.
Hello, Captain. I was calling in for Bellingham, but I don't think I was unmuted. It's Susan Thompson.
Susie Thompson?
Correct.
Okay, welcome, Susie.
Thank you.
Hey, you're just like us. We're getting used to this stuff too.
Yeah.
So
It says on there,
what's that?
right, the Susan.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Sorry. We're just a little embarrassing. Trying to get used to technology. Okay. Okay, here we go. So we got Bellingham, we got Prince Rupert. And I'll, have a period at the end where if I missed anybody, you can speak up. Metlakatla. And Ketchikan. Okay, how about Wrangell? And Petersburg. Cake. Okay, Sitka.
Yes, Melissa Henshaw, City and Borough of Sitka.
Welcome, Melissa. Angoon. Okay, Teneke.
Tony, this is Sam. I'm gonna jump in just to remind people, if you have called in by phone, I believe you need to hit *9 to unmute yourself.
Okay,
Might be *6.
Anybody in Tenakee? Okay, okay, Pelican,
Chris McDowell, for Yacobi Fisheries, or Juneau and Pelican.
welcome, Chris.
This is Celeste Weller, Pelican City Council. Also Yacobi Fisheries.
Welcome.
This is Seth Stewart. This is Seth Stewart, Yacobi Fisheries.
Seth,
Pelican.
is that you, Seth?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
It's pound 6.
Star.
So we got
Okay,
Seth.
so we got
Anybody
Seth.
else in Pelican?
Anybody else in Pelican? Yes. And Huna. Gus Davis.
Lee Parker, Gus Davis, Frontier Freight.
Welcome, Lee. Juneau. And Haynes. Okay, Skagway. Okay, Yakutat. Okay, anybody from the Anchorage or greater Anchorage area or anywhere up north? Anybody else that I may have missed? Okay. Okay, so down in Bellingham, we had Susan. Did you have any comment or questions about the?
Yes, one
schedule?
question. How do travelers get from Bellingham to Whittier? This is my second year with the tentative schedule, but I don't understand.
Oh, Susan, Susan, hi, it's Carrie. Yeah, it's.
Hi, Carrie.
It's pretty much the same as what we've been doing. We have cut it to one sailing a month out of Bellingham now, and that would be on one Saturday a month.
Which week? Week 4?
You can give me a call after the meeting. I do have
Okay.
it. I don't have it detailed, the schedule yet. So if you want to give me a ring after the meeting, I'll let you know.
Okay, so my follow-on question is, if you have to take the Columbia out of Bellingham, where are you supposed to change to get onto the Kennecott for Cross Gulf?
You can take the Kennecott direct on the one Saturday out of the month. And then there would also be an overnight connection. And again, due to the way the patterns are, you'd have to give me a call as to what those dates would be for the month that you would like to travel.
Okay, thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. Glad to hear from you.
What'd you get on it, you know? or
Yeah.
Juneau.
it'd be a change. Juneau would be the change port for the Columbia, but again, if you want to give me a ring, I can give you more detail.
Thank you. That's it.
Thanks.
Hey, any other joiners in Juneau, on Bellingham or the lower 48 with questions or comments? And we had Christine and Prince Rupert.
Right. And I, as a resident of Ketchikan and a former 18-year resident of Metlakatla, feel that I could speak on their behalf as well. I don't know if you want me to do it now or you want me to split it up or what.
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I remember many, many years ago when the travel between BC and Ketchikan was easy. I remember the large ferries going, the standby lines of motorhomes waiting to get on. I'm pretty sure that run was a moneymaker all summer long. And there was a lot of interaction between people in Southeast accessing the lower 48 and Canadian road system and fairly economical travel. Obviously, that's gone. As far as how it impacts me, I've been here off and on, mostly on in Prince Rupert for about over a year and a half now. And I really can't use the ferry system because the spacing of the round trips is either non-existent or too far apart. My family can't travel to visit me here. So it necessitates flying to Vancouver, flying from Vancouver to Seattle, and then Seattle to Ketchikan. If you're buying a ticket, that's about $1,500 because you can't do it in one day and you got to get a hotel and you got to eat and so forth and so on. So very inconvenient. And ditto for people from Ketchikan going the other way. For many years, we used to ski. We'd go to Smithers in the winter. We'd go for a week, come back. Can't do that anymore. As far as Metlakatla, a lot of the people there, obviously, are they're culturally part of British Columbia. And so there was a lot of family interaction. The all-native basketball tournament is going to be here in Prince Rupert this month, here just in a week or so. And I know that a lot of the villages in Southeast and Metlakatla used to send teams. There was a lot of representation there because they could travel. Now they can't. And I know that Metlakatla is not sending a team at all just because they can't afford the travel to get down there. So I guess my plea is in Southeast, we basically don't have a road system that connects us. The ferry is our road. And so when that road is cut off and when you can't get to Prince Rupert, you're basically cutting off 50% of the North American road system to the people you service. And I know, this has been going on for years. It's not your guys' fault and it's all political and everything else, but I would like and hope that people would look at it from the customer service viewpoint and not necessarily the where the most voters viewpoint is. And in my mind, the people in both up in the Aleutians and in Southeast Alaska really, really, really need better service than we've been getting. And that's it, done.
Thank you, Vi. Yeah, it's the lack of vessels is definitely an impediment to servicing these events. And I do remember writing the all-native travel plans and a lot of the other events. We just don't have the equipment. Hopefully that will change in the next few years. In the meantime, it's a tough go. And for that, I'm very sorry and sad.
Yeah, and as far as just me personally, I'm down here. My husband had to go back to Ketchikan to do a little bit of work and try to come back. He took his truck on the very last ferry that left from here a month and a half ago, and he's been up there and he thought there was a February 22nd ferry, but guess what? There's not. So he's going to have to make that flight here to visit me, leave his vehicle in Ketchikan, and who knows when, because we haven't seen the summer schedule yet, when he will even be able to put his vehicle here. So it's crazy ridiculous if you've been used to the service and you're not getting it. And it's sad because other countries, other nations have good ferry service. And we're operating a ferry service like it's a third world country, and it's sad.
Thank you, Vi, and Christine, both of you. Thanks for commenting.
You're welcome. Thanks for allowing me to.
You're welcome.
So we didn't have any additional people identified from Metlakatla, Ketchikan, Wrangell, Petersburg, or Cake. Is there anybody that's joined us that has a question or a comment from those communities?
Hi, this is Diana. I'm the operations director here at Breast Cancer Detection Center. We have a
Excuse
mobile
me.
truck that's doing, we service local villages doing mammograms. I was wondering if there's any chance we can add 2 services to Cake instead of just 1 week. Well, usually last year we did service Cake June 16th. When I looked at the draft, it seems like it's going to be just once a week, which is beginning of the week. And we just don't want to miss them this year.
Yeah, Diana, you can give me a call
Hey.
on that. We can take a look at it. Unfortunately, the Matanuska is the ship that you would have utilized to go to Cake on that schedule. Matanuska is not on the schedule this summer. And that leaves me with the Lacani, which is the little Shetland pony that's going to have to cover a lot of this stuff. So if you need to service the village, we can give me a call. Just give me a call and send a request for the timing on that, and we'll have to work it out somehow. I can't guarantee it, but we will look at it and confer with the mayor of Cake and get something figured out. So I think you've got my email address, so please just contact me, and as I detail it, we will work something out.
Okay, another request, I'm not sure if it's probably too much. We missed Yaktat last year, and we're hoping if we can leave, service them sometime in April. Is there any chance we can add a service from Whittier sometime end of April or mid-April going to Yaktat?
No, the Kennecott won't be out.
That's right. I just wanted to double check, but that's okay.
I don't have the Kennecott at that time, and it's the only vessel that can cross the Gulf. So unfortunately, no, that is not possible.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tony, this is Sam. I'm gonna jump in for just a second. We have a person with their hand raised, caller 209-2915. Go ahead and press *6 to unmute yourself.
Hello, can you read me?
Oh, there. Yeah, this
All
is
right.
Craig Norheim. I'm from Petersburg. And I wanted to talk to this issue.
Is it Greg?
Oh, Greg Overturf, is that right, Greg?
No, Craig, K-R-A-I-G, Norheim,
Craig.
Norheim, from Petersburg.
Go ahead, Craig.
Okay, I've lived in Petersburg my whole life, and we always seem to end up in the middle of the night or at the end of the stick. But I'd like to talk about the schedules. And I broke it down into 3 different zones. Zone 4 would be the Bellingham run. And if you would bear with me just a moment, from Ketchikan, if you'd leave Ketchikan with a Columbia, Matanuska, Kennecott style boat, a big boat, and if you departed Monday morning at 7 a.m. to Bellingham from Ketchikan, you would get into Bellingham on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Again, then leave Bellingham at 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, arrive Ketchikan Thursday night, and then depart Ketchikan at 2 a.m. on Friday and go directly to Juneau, bypassing the Narrows. And you would get into Juneau at 10 p.m. on Friday night. You can then depart and arrive Haines at 6:30 a.m. Depart Haines at 9:30, arrive Skagway, and then go back to Juneau. And from Juneau back to Ketchikan, arriving Ketchikan at 10 p.m. on Sunday night and not transiting the Narrows. That's the biggest change I would do there. That's a 7-day work week for a 24-hour crew. That would be Route A. Route B, you could do the same Ketchikan, Bellingham, Bellingham, Ketchikan, but you could go to Juneau, turn around and go back to Ketchikan and do a Rupert run back in Ketchikan at 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. Now that's different than anybody's done before, so just bear with me now. Let's move up and take care of the Ketchikan, Wrangell, Petersburg. That would be a boat of the Hubbard style, Hubbard class, Laconie class. It's a day boat departing Ketchikan at 8 a.m. on Monday morning, every Monday morning. It would go to Wrangell and arrive at South Mitkoff at 4:30 p.m. They would overnight at the South Mitkoff terminal, and on Tuesday go back the same route from South Mitkoff to Wrangell to Ketchikan, arriving at 4:30 p.m. What my gist of doing this is trying to get a time so that people know when things are happening and why they're happening and be able to count on it. So I don't have to call DOT and ask them what time the ship is, because I'll know. The same time every day, just like they have on the run from Juneau to Skagway and Haines. The boat leaves the same time every day. Just like the boat there at POW, same time every day. Just like the boat at Metlakatla, same time every day. So you guys are on the right track. You just didn't apply it to everything else. Okay, on Wednesday, that boat could depart Ketchikan and go to Rupert and do a Rupert overnight and be back on Thursday. Friday and Saturday, do the South Mitkoff run again. You have options to add Kaufman Cove in that run between Petersburg, Kaufman Cove, Wrangell, and South Mitkoff if you want to. It will still make the 12-hour reality. Okay, the Juneau, Petersburg, and Cake run, again, you need a Matanuska, Kennecott, something that's going to take care of the central southeast. It would depart Juneau at 7 a.m. on Monday. It would arrive Cake at 2:30 p.m. from Cake to Petersburg, arriving Petersburg 7:30 p.m., departing Petersburg at 8:30, back to Cake, back to Juneau. Once that boat gets to Juneau, it gets in at 8 a.m. So at 10 a.m., that boat can go wherever it needs to in Zone 2, which includes Juneau, Hoonah, Tenakee, Angoon, Sitka, Gustavus, and Pelican. You got 66 hours of working time to work in that zone before you have to be back on Friday with that ship to do the Juneau, Cake, Petersburg, Cake, back to Juneau. And then you could actually throw in a Hoonah run or whatever for the rest of the week. But it's dedicated so that if you leave Ketchikan and you're wanting to go to Juneau and the big boat has already gone through on Thursday, then you have an opportunity to ride the ferry in Petersburg or from Ketchikan to Petersburg, South Mitkoff, and you have the opportunity to drive the length of the island and catch a boat back to Juneau and be in Juneau by Monday morning, or excuse me, Tuesday morning. So I've intertied some of these boats, and my gist of why I'm doing this is because I've built many of the ferry terminals in Southeast Alaska, including South Mitkoff, which is not used at present, hasn't been used in years. That was a $25 million installation. I worked there for 1.5 years building it. I'm retired out of DOT with 44 years. I've put my heart and soul into this plan. I've been working on it since 1999 when they came out with the first Southeast transportation plan that didn't address any of these concerns. So this was my shot. I'm trying to do something to help this system out. A lot of these boats can be on 6 or 7 day work week, which saves a lot of money. Some of them could be the training vessel, like the little one between Petersburg and Ketchikan. So that's what I want to go with this. I hope it falls on people that are listening. And it doesn't benefit me other than giving my community a means of getting places that are reasonable. And it opens up Prince Rupert to everyone. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Craig. Thank you. That's really, it's a great detailed account. I mean, do you have that written down in an email that, we could receive
do.
that and take a look at it,
I've sent it to a couple people, my representative here in Petersburg, and I sent it also to Norm Carson, who is on the Transportation Committee. So it's probably going to get to you folks shortly.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Tony, we have a person with the name Cheney's iPhone who has her hand raised. She can go ahead and unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Della Cheney, and I travel quite often between Juneau, Cake, Juneau. And at this time I came home to Cake. And then the Matanuska was canceled. So I brought my car, of course. I remember when this happened, it was a year ago, and the ferry got stuck in Juneau, and a lot of people had cars in Juneau. And then they didn't come out to Cake for quite a while. So some people used AML. It's very expensive. So this time I had to use AML for the first time. And I realized that it is like 3 or 4 trips, maybe 2 or 3 trips from Juneau, Cake, Juneau, price-wise. So it can get pretty high pretty fast. And so I'm wondering if there can be a regular highway that we can count on. I know the other highways don't worry about this type of stuff. And I understand why we have to. But it would seem that it would not be such a political football, so to speak, because of legislators' comments to the governor that would change the system for our villages because of our representatives in the House or Senate making a comment. It becomes very personal, and it hurts our communities when they have fights between each other. But I'd sure appreciate if there was some way that there would not be something like that controlling the schedules of our Alaska Marine Highway system. We really need the system in our villages just because of family, medical, shopping, and all these other things. Our school activities depend on travel. A lot of them are having difficult times because there's no regular ferry to help them enjoy the basketball, volleyball, and all those other things that connect us as a community in Alaska. So I really hope that we could get back on track somehow, including the smaller villages without having a political shutdown just because of what someone might have said. So hopefully we could get beyond that and take care of our citizens, no matter where they live, where they choose to live. So I just needed to say that. I did put in a request with the scheduler for a Kajadi Memorial Party, which is a freshwater market sockeye salmon family. Either for the end of August 25, 26, 2023, or the 1st and 2nd of September 2023. Either one of those dates would be really helpful to bring our families from Prince Rupert or from Haines, whichever direction would be really great. I appreciate the time, and I hope things work out for us soon.
So
Hawa, Gunash
Here,
Chish.
Della, thank you very much. I do have that request on a sticky note on my computer. I'm glad that you came to us early in the process here in order to try to get your family to travel, because I understand it's three parties all work together due to the COVID, so it will be a big event. And again, it's kind of it's difficult due to the lack of equipment. We certainly missed the boat that went to Rupert the Taku all the time. That enabled you to have consistent service.
Yeah, and
to Sitka, and it's just real difficult now with.
yeah, I noticed that the
boat. So
Tazzolina,
I'll do the best that I can as I look to the detail, and I have your phone number, so I'll be in touch.
thank you. I noticed that the Tazzolina is traveling to Angoon. We usually stop in Angoon Cape on LeConte, but you know the weather in Southeast, a catamaran is not a good selection for us coming around Point McCartney.
Oh, no, I get it for sure.
So-
And again, the hookup would probably be Cape Angoon as we detail the summer, and then I'll take a look at your specific request and see what we can do.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next we have Bob with his hand raised. Bob, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yep, is my audio working?
Yes, it is.
Okay, this should be pretty quick. I'm a potential customer. I just have a quick question. I was going through the draft schedule and trying to track a couple of the vessels, and it's very specific on the draft schedule day to day. And it's a 4-week schedule, but as we know, there's more than 4 weeks in a lot of months, and there's overlap. So I'm trying to figure out or just get some idea of how that will actually translate to a real schedule, since there's, more than, there's usually some 5 weeks in some months.
Where are you trying to go, Bob?
I'm just trying to plan a trip from the lower 48 going up to Anchorage, running through Ketchikan and Juneau and Whittier. So I'm trying to connect the dots, but it's the schedule says week 1, 2, 3, 4 on specific days, but it doesn't it doesn't coordinate to an actual calendar, because calendar.
Right, and as you can see, I have taken the dates off of these drafts because people would then plan their events based on that, and it's kind of too soon without the detail. I'm hoping, to proceed to detailing this and try to get this out by mid-February, late February. I do have dates. If you want to call me, Bob, if that's what your concern is, feel free to do that. I think you probably have my number or my email. I'm the vessel scheduler. So like I said, patience, thank you for your patience. We are pretty late here, but I can answer those questions or give you a better idea when the schedule will be published.
Okay, so are you the contact on the memo that went out?
No.
So
Bob, I can send you Carrie's contact info in the chat.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Sam.
Next we have Melissa Henshaw with her hand raised. Go ahead, Melissa.
Thanks, Sam. It's Melissa Henshaw. I'm the Public and Government Relations Director for the City and Borough of Sitka. And I thank you very much for the opportunity to provide comments. We appreciate the increase in ferry service from prior recent years for the southbound route out of Sitka, though it's still not satisfactory service for our community. Sitka ranks 10th in population for Alaska, and most importantly, 3rd most populated without road access. The proposed once-a-month northbound ferry is inadequate and devastating for our community. We propose a change in the LeConte service to include Sitka at least once a week. We continue to lose culture. This lack of service affects people seeking healthcare, and it stifles visitor experience to Sitka. We ask that DOT consider more ferry service for our Southeast communities, especially those that do not have road access. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate the comments. We're kind of short on equipment. But I'll do what I can with what I've got. And as far as the northbound into Sitka, I really need, I'm looking at events, the event planning and things that happen. So in all likelihood, when the detail comes out, there will be additional, I'll flip it through Sitka. I don't want to do that prior to detail because the events are kind of the driver for that, but there will be additional northbound with Columbia.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for that. We did put in, we also wrote a letter from our administrator and I sent that in just including mud ball especially. So.
Yeah. Mud ball's a big to-do. I'm back in the day, really liked scheduling for mud ball. I'll see what I can do this year. And I did receive your letter. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks, Melissa and Carrie. Next, we have Chris M with his hand raised.
Good morning, Chris McDowell with Jacoby Fisheries. Our primary interest is the run between Juneau and Pelican. We have a processing plant in Pelican and our support facilities in Juneau. So Pelican's not currently on the schedule at all for the summer. So that's obviously problematic for us.
It is on the schedule.
I think, are we on the schedule now?
It's generally a text box, but yes, Pelican, if I missed it on the third or fourth draft of the schedule. Oh, there it is. It's on week 2. It says Pelican once a month. And again, when we get to the detail and figure out what complement of ships we have, this is, yeah, I've got it once a month. There's a little text box. It doesn't, Pelican, doesn't fit into the graphs real well. So
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that yet. And the last I heard, we didn't have anything at all. So I just wanted to go over a couple of things for us about, we don't have any barge service, of course. And so we're pretty dependent on the ferry. One of the things that's happening for us is that, we started processing in our current location at Pelican back in fiscal year 16. So seafood landings that year in Pelican were 31,000, and last year, 7 years later, 2.4 million. So what we're seeing is a pretty substantial recovery of seafood processing in Pelican. That's a direct result of having access to ferry service. So last year we shipped about 400,000 pounds of finished product out of Pelican, and about half of that volume into Pelican as supplies and materials and equipment. So our freight usage, just our freight usage, is about 600,000 pounds last year, and we expect to continue growing quite a bit. So for us, the ideal schedule is at least one a month, April, May, June, and then 2 a month, July, August, September, and then 1 in October. So we're going to elongate our processing season this year. We'll open in April and close in October. So our operating season will be 7 months this year. So for us, it works best April through October, and then twice a month, July, August, September. So there's a lot of people in the meeting, so I'll submit the rest of my prepared comments as a letter. So.
Okay, hey, Chris, yeah, I do appreciate that. And we'll, again, a lot of this will come out in the detail as I figure, what the Lacani is capable of, since she's having to take on more of a burden without the Matanuska. But we certainly are, I'm aware of the product and the need for the additional sailings toward the end of the season, just to get everything moved. So I definitely work with you guys and see what we can come up with.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so I just want to back up a little bit. We are now, we've covered Sitka. And I want to make sure, there's nobody else in Cake that has a comment that we might have rolled forward over? I just want to be sure. So Cake, Sitka. Okay, now we're in Angoon. We didn't have anybody identify for Angoon or Tenakee. So is there anybody from those two communities?
There aren't any hands raised at this time, Tony.
Okay. And we heard from Chris in Pelican, and there was Celeste and Seth. Thank you. So any other comments from Pelican?
Celeste, I see you're unmuted. You can go ahead. Not hearing anything from Celeste.
Okay.
I see Lee Parker from Frontier Freight. Did you want to speak?
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts too on Pelican. I also, Gustavus, have some input, but on the Pelican, two things. We have in the past been able to handle the Pelican freight and the Gustavus freight on the same ferry. Seems like it makes a lot of sense if you're going to Pelican to stop in Gustavus anyways. And that way we have freight for both Gustavus and Pelican. That helps you fill up that deck, raise some revenue for you guys. But for Frontier Freight, it's a salvation because we have so much freight destined for Gustavus that we cannot find enough deck space on just 2 ferries a week. Last summer, the only thing that saved our bacon was those stops to Pelican, because we could put on the deck all the trailers that we couldn't get on Monday and Thursday. So, and I didn't know you had the Pelican schedule already on there. So
Yeah, it's Carrie, it's a little nebulous because we've lost the ability to service both Hoonah and Cape with a mainliner. So the Connie load is getting exponentially bigger. And so as I parse it out, works or work rest, I can't nail it on the graph right now, but I'm aware of your concerns and I appreciate that you wrote those.
How do I raise my
as
hand?
well in an email.
Oh, there we
So
go.
again, a lot of this is going to have to come out in the detail due to working week by week through work rest for the ship. So I'm certainly going to do what I can. I know ideally what I'd like to do is separate Pelican and Hoonah, but we don't have enough lift with just the Laconnie to do that. So all I'm doing is casting up a prayer for the Hubbard to find a crew, and then everybody will be happy, including me.
Well, that was my next question too. The Hubbard is our salvation, and it sounds like everything's go except for a crew. But if you can get that boat crewed, then the LeConte could service some of our needs. We have probably the most loaded up deck of anywhere I suspect in Southeast Alaska goes to Gustavus. We're really short of space and need additional voyages. In my letter to you, I even proposed maybe we can have a third voyage to Gustavus on a weekly basis. And even then, I don't think we're going to be able to handle all the freight unless we can get the Pelican stop there as well.
Yeah, Norm, I mean, Lee, I got you and Norm hand in hand here. Yeah, I have a plan if we have the Hubbard, and you will like it. It will be good. So we just hope we get the Hubbard because it will free up. It'll make it life better for everybody, including me. So we'll just hope that happens. And I'm thinking that what Tony, we're targeting April. We're not going to know right away. We're still looking for crews. So I think we're targeting somewhere like April as a go, no go for that.
Oh, yeah.
So in the meantime, we're going to have to book with this. And then when I change it, if we change it out, it's not going to be a plug and play, but it won't be really painful to move the people around on the plan that I have. So hopefully that will come to fruition.
Well, that sounds hopeful. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome, Lee. Thank you.
Celeste Weller has her hand raised. Celeste, you want to go ahead and speak?
Thank you. I was having technical problems before. I live out in Pelican. I just wanted to speak about the city of Pelican. Chris McDowell pretty much covered Ucobi Fisheries' need for the vessel service pretty well. As a city council member, I'm pretty close to the situation and how much we rely on the ferry system as well. We recently sent out some essential vehicles for repair, our backhoe, also our ambulance, saving us thousands and thousands of dollars and sending, mechanics or specialists out here for that. We also have a hydroelectric utility system that we had to fly out some really large parts, completely prohibitive to fly out on the planes service. So, and the city of Pelican is, kind of going through a cleanup and a resurgence right now where we have a lot going on. We are moving out containers full of scrap metal to clean up. We're trying to do some infrastructure repairs. So without these regular sailings, we would not be able to continue growing as a municipality, as well as the fishery industry that's growing here. So I just wanted to speak to that and also mention that our dock is a side loader only, so we're restricted with which vessels can service us. I believe it's the Aurora is the other, and then, our main vehicle is the LeConte. So that's just something that makes scheduling for Pelican a little trickier, but we definitely really rely on the service and hope to see the 2 sailings in the summer and at least 1 most off-season months. Thank you.
Thank you, Celeste. And we are, I'll work toward, again, see once the detail shakes out and see what the complement of ships look like. And I do believe Pelican is on a list for dock modifications to be able to service an ACF in the future.
That is true, yes. It's a project. And the ACFs have a side door, so. Okay. Let's go. Let's see, we are at.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi, this is Seth. Can I make a comment?
sure.
Seth Stewart. Everybody kind of, I just wanted to say a more personal side of, the Pelican service. Everybody kind of beats the drum of the Jacoby and how much freight we're moving, but Jacoby couldn't exist in Pelican, and there couldn't be any kind of economy there if there wasn't a community in place there. And often the only way that people get things in and out of Pelican throughout the off season, when, there's a lot of inputs about, Jacoby and Pelican and the lodges and, the economy going there, but people need to eat, and there's no other way to have it. And often it goes, in the winter and fall months, and even into the spring. Often, you can go 3-4 weeks without a plane to get anything in there. And I know that everybody kind of knows this, but it doesn't often get mentioned that to maintain that community, it really is the only way to move things in and out reliably. And, I was born in Pelican in 1981 and used the ferry system often for the, the school trips and basketball trip and wrestling trips for tournaments up and down Southeast that, the communities, all the kids would ride on. And I know that those days are kind of gone because we can't get that much ferry service because of equipment, but we can't get a barge in and out of Pelican. We can't get jets in and out of Pelican. We don't get wheel planes in and out of Pelican. This is really the only way that people survive there throughout the winter season. And so, it's great to get a lot of service in the summer, and that's obviously very valuable, but I just don't want people to forget that there's a community living there that needs this service to continue to stay there and live there. So that's all I got. I appreciate you guys' time. And I know we spend a lot of time working on this, and we all appreciate it a lot and value your time. So thank you.
Thanks, Seth. Like I said, hopefully moving forward, we'll have a better, even if we had the Hubbard and the Laconnie, or if we had them interchangeable for overhauls to lessen the gap, that would be great. They just need to fix the dock.
Yeah, right. That's definitely what we're all hoping for. We all kind of wish they would have done that the first time they modified the dock and fixed it. But yeah, moving forward, we're hopeful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. We didn't have, let's see, is there anybody from Huna that joined us late? And we're at Gustavus now. We had Lee Parker there. Anything else, Lee?
Well, just one thing that I did mention to you in the letter, and that is if you guys could ever really solidify the service between Gustavus and Pelican, we get a lot of visitors in Gustavus that really like to take that day trip out there and back because it's a very, very unusual experience for our lower 48 tourists. But to do that effectively, we'd have to know the schedules there every summer so that all the inns, and we have, hundreds and hundreds of people out there every week that are potential travelers to Pelican. But the inns can't advertise that if they don't know it's going to be something to expect the next summer. So if it's possible at any point in time that you can lock that down as a permanent schedule, then you'll get a lot of traffic, I believe, from all the lodges and inns going out to, just people traffic, but it helps pay the bills.
Yeah, I noticed that traffic was really robust when we were able to run it with some kind of consistency. Again, it's going to come down to the equipment and knowing what equipment's available ahead of time. And that's been kind of the showstopper here. So hopefully going forward, we'll have a better idea to get the schedules out earlier and have a complement of crew and ships that will enable that to happen.
That's my only other comment. Just really looking forward to having the ability to ship all the freight we have this summer because we got a lot more than we've had last summer, and we need some help. So thanks, guys.
Yep, we'll do what we can, Lee. Thanks.
Okay, so let's see. We had Juneau, Haynes, Skagway, and Yakutat. Nobody spoke up. Is there anybody from those communities that has a question or a comment? Anyone from up north in the Anchorage area? Nobody identified there. Anybody else anywhere in the United States or overseas? Any other comments?
Sorry to interrupt you. Diana again here from Breast Cancer Detection Center. I was wondering if we can add an extra, I'm not sure if it's possible, a trip from Yakutat to Whittier. That's kind of in May or June. I noticed there is only like 2, I think, beginning in the 4th week. If there's anything we can do mid of the month.
If you could give me a call or send me an email with that request, I will take a look at what is going on with the Kennecott at that time. May is not a good month. We're not back on track until the 11th of May. And that will be headed to Bellingham, so May won't work, but send me what you'd like to see in June and I'll see what I can do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tony, I have a couple people with their hands up. We'll start with Anthony. I can't pronounce the last name. Anthony K. Go ahead and speak. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I guess we'll move on. Anthony, maybe you can get back on in a second. And we also have Kate and Brent Wilson with their hand up. Can we go ahead and speak?
Hi, everyone, far away in Wisconsin, and looking forward to our trip in July, hopefully on the Alaska Marine Highway System. I traveled in 1982 and from Ketchikan to Skagway and back, and it was wonderful. Just wondering if you're going to have the staffing to help us plan our trip. I know we tried to do this in 2019 and things didn't work out, but at that time there was staffing available to help us plan it. Are you still going to be able to offer that service to us?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate, we have a reservation staff that can help you over the phone if you need some help planning your trip.
We definitely will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anthony, I'm gonna try Korzanuski, I believe it's pronounced. Go ahead.
You got it exactly right. Congratulations.
Thanks.
No, so I'm listening in from Houston, Texas. I'm another lower 48 potential travel planner. I sent an email to this effect, and I know that this is superficial compared to what some people are concerned about, but if I got the week count correctly on the scheduling for the Kennecott from Bellingham up to the Cross Gulf, I noticed that the very last arrival for that falls in the gap in the Alaska Railroad departures between Anchorage and Fairbanks. And it's one of those, if you were a walk-on instead of a driving passenger or on board the ferries, it would make it very, very difficult to make those connections going up north at the end of the summer season. So I know that's not your all's primary consideration, but I did want to point it out compared to last year's, when the final Kennecott arrival was within that last bit of the summer season.
Hey, Anthony, I appreciate that. Again, I have to look at the detail. We have also added a lot more baggage to the Kennecott cart this summer. So I'll certainly look at that connection. I think I did get an email from you and we'll look.
Maybe I thought I had it figured out, but it's not working.
That's all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Hey, Jake Tuck, yes, we can hear you.
Yes. I have used the ferry system for close to 20 years out of Prince Rupert to Ketchikan. I spent 3.5 months. I have a place on POW. In the old days, of course, there used to be a ferry service at a minimum of once a week, sometimes twice a week. And so now my problem is you've got it like once a month. Going back home, I used to go back the 1st of September, but if I've got the schedule right, I've got a choices like the 10th of August or the middle of September. If you could even do it twice a month, like the 1st and the 15th or thereabouts, things would work great.
Yeah, Jake, again, it comes down to equipment or the lack thereof. I've got one vessel that is covering the entire Bellingham, Prince Rupert, Whittier, Kodiak this summer. So it's time, distance, and speed over the course of a month. So we're kind of tapped on equipment again. I'd like to go to Rupert more consistently, but I've got one vessel and one vessel only.
You know, I hear you, it appeared to me the ferries were full when you used to run once a week. And so now going to once a month, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, we have one vessel and one vessel only capable of going into Prince Rupert. It is also the only vessel capable of crossing the Gulf of Alaska. So we are tasking it with covering a great deal of territory. So again, we've lost the 3 original ships that were made up the fleet that were enabled us to do those schedules. We no longer have them.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I don't see any hands raised. Okay. Do you see anything, Sam?
No, I don't see anyone with their hand raised. There are some comments in the meeting chat. I don't know if you want to take a look at those and you or Carrie could address them before we close out.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Can you review the timing for schedules and reservations for this summer? That's this thing. So Kerry, we're going through the public process now and the schedules will be developed. So we think, when will the schedules be released? Roughly.
Mid to late February.
Mid to late February for that. Pelican Ferry. The captain of the port. Let's see. COP recently applied for a grant in collaboration with state. I can't read that.
We are reapplying any support to this fight would be appreciated. That'd be Southeast region
Okay,
question.
so that's, we could, Sam, we can get these right email to us. You can do that for us.
Mostly it's about my phone number.
And there's your phone number.
Yeah, phone number all over.
Aloha, I just realized the cake needs a catwalk for throwing the tie-up ball. That's correct. In the past, Columbia landed in cake without problems. So
That's
maybe-
according, yeah, Della. Yeah, I talked
Okay.
to the master and that is correct.
Contact information. And let's see. Would it be appropriate for a citizen from the lower 48 planning to travel us
Yeah.
in a motorhome to ask questions? Yes. Folks are asking questions and comments in the chat. Week 1 custom evening schedule, there is only one stop in Helsinki. And portions in the week, one with the Kennecott. Going to and from Kodiak. Why is it not stopping in Helsinki or portions when we have the docks to hold Kennecott?
Port Lions. Or-
Week 1.
That's for this afternoon.
That telecom, let's see, we can. So that was Peter, can you call in this afternoon? We're having our,
1:30.
At 1:30.
at 1:30, our scheduling teleconference for Southwest and South Central. Tour operator,
More Rupert.
more Prince Rupert. I think we've been over that. Okay, I think
That should be it.
think we got all that. Okay, Sam, you think we got it all?
Yeah, I think good for my end. I'll let you take it from here.
Okay, well, we appreciate everybody calling in, and we will have our Southwest summer teleconference this afternoon at 1:30. And we appreciate your comments, and we try to do the best we can with what we have, as always. And so for those of you not joining us later, I wish you a good day, and we'll look for others at 1:30 today for the summer Southwest meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for letting us comment. Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
You too.